Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel today. I'm Calvin and today we're back to our philosophy topic. So our topic today is just keep talking about the reason to believe as before. But today our reason to believe is not just believing in something that exists in the world. But today our topic is talking about should we going to believe in the God existence. So over the centuries, many philosophers have tried to prove that the God is really exists in the world. So here there's some of the evidence or some of the argument that the philosopher have put out. The first one is the argument from design. The world is a beautiful and have a lot of style of animals, a snake, crocodile, hippo, horse, bird, and human. They have a lot of things that going to have a lot of different style, different type, and different shape. And this is hard to believe that the way they all exist in the earth is just by chance. There is nothing that just appear in the world just by chance or just by an unlike there is no one going to control it. But in the other way, the God is the one that we're trying to make them believe, or we trying to make an argument to going to prove that they exist, should be the powerful and the one is good enough to control the existence of the animal in the world. So going to make the animal exist is still one of the God property, one of the God like responsibility. So we don't need God to explain this. Of course, the theory of evolution explain how creatures came to well suit to their habitats. It's the part of the nature. But of course, there is something that still can happen even when the theories only work. The theories just work after we're going to research and going to studying after a long time and then make out the research. But there is something that we don't know, that why is that animals or why that type of animals can still alive, or why that they can have the power to change themselves to fit with the nature. So in this case, maybe that's the way that God going to make everything exist in the world, depend on how they're going to fit with the nature in the time. So this line of thinking has given to the rise of another theories, that the fine-tuning argument. So in this argument, we have four first we have the reason and the argument from design. That's when the law of nature are working to create and even so slightly different animal, our reality would not have existed. Which means that even when the law of the nature exists, does not mean that any animals that we are having now can exist too. So come to the second argument. The probability of things being the way they are in very small, which means that the way that everything is right now have a really small chance to have the shape that they are right now. And it's amazing that our reality is exists because there is a lot of things that we call development from the biology inside our body by time. For example, our human is the type of monkey in the Jura time. So after a really long time, they start to develop and their biology start to change from monkey to another type of animals, and we call it humans. So we could easily see that to have humans we have today, the change that we easily going to have the shape of human we are having today is really small, and going to have the whole world with amazing and colorful type of animal is much more impossible. So it's hard to believe that there is no one going to control the way that every animals and everything is exist in the world. And of course, it seems more likely that something is intentionally going to cause it to exist. And our topic is talking about God. So of course we are going to talk about God who intentionally want the animals to exist. So now here's a thought experiment to prove the fine-tuning argument. So the fine-tuning argument, let's take an example here. If there is one boy called Tom, he win the lottery at the first time. At that time, everybody think he's a very lucky man. Then he win a second time. At this point, maybe there's somebody think, oh my God, he win it twice, which means he is very very lucky. But some will think that maybe there's someone is cheating. And at the third time, when he got the lottery, everybody going to think that he's cheating or something. But when they're going to think there is cheating, they will going to try to find for explanation for that cheating, or trying to find that there is someone really cheating and find the reason. So when highly unlikely things happen, we often find it hard to believe that it's all down to the chance. It's just all down to the percent, and it's not have anything that just happened by lucky. But there is the difference between chance and cheat. If something is happen twice but it's very unlikely to happen every time, which means that this a very very rare thing, but it still happen. So even when there's somebody who got that and who let it happen twice or three times, but still going to find a reason that they are cheating, or they are going to do something that bad, or going to do something that unusual, doesn't mean that they really doing that unusual thing. And even if the fine-tuning argument really work, doesn't mean that the God is going to cheat and going to controlling every animal type in the world. So this fine-tuning argument is just using to prove that sometimes people will just trying to find the like trying to finding the reason for the party or the body or someone who go into make things that unlikely to happen twice or more. So every time like that, they have go into think, yeah, this is not usual. And even when it's really unusual, that doesn't mean that is cheating. Okay, so of course this isn't the end of the God matter, but if the argument from the God and design of them existence is convincing isn't enough, so there are several other arguments that might have in the God qualities, God existence, and of course about the way that God's going to control our world too. But that is for another topic. And now it's time for us to say goodbye then. See ya and see you in my next video.